Zero ego. I have a lot of words for this, and the reason being, there's no such thing as zero ego. You'd be dead. So a lot of times as a leader, that is one of the check marks that you're supposed to put next to zero ego is, of course I have no ego. If you had no ego, you would have no will to survive. And to survive on this planet, unfortunately, we have to have something called an ego. Now, of course, there are ways to break down your ego so your ego stops getting in the way of things. At the same time, and what I mean by that is your happiness or how you perceive success and all the obstacles that basically stand in the way of where you want to be, well, those are all from your ego. And so our ego, besides surviving and, of course, providing obstacles, is something you're not going to get rid of. And a lot of times I think we get it confused with having some form of humility rather than arrogance. That would probably be more fitting when we're talking about zero ego. For those of you that feel you need to have zero ego, you have probably fallen into being a perfectionist, right? Trying to do it perfectly. If you see a list of items that says this makes a great leader, you are probably tempted to basically try to achieve each thing on that list. And it's an arbitrary list because a great leader is not defined by a list of you have zero ego, you're somebody who's supportive of your people, or you're empathetic at least. I think there's also you're paying them well. I mean, there's all sorts of things, right? There's the tactical and then there's the mindset. And so for most of us, I think we're just inundated with all these things that tell us what we should be or shouldn't be. And I think it's very difficult, especially for female leaders, to become who they really are, because most of us don't know who that is. And most of us don't know how to actually feel a sense of worth. We know how to do things that tell other people we have worth. All of our accomplishments show that. Every day we get out of bed and we do some leading of some sort, right? Because most of the time you're not just a leader in the office, you lead in other parts of your life. So a lot of times we get stuck in, well, I'm leading, I'm doing the things I'm supposed to, right? And am I happy? Do I don't know, feel a sense of groundedness? Or do I feel anxiety? Do I feel uptight? Do I lie awake at night in the middle of the night fearing losing everything? So all of these things are related to your ego, by the way. I know, right? But it's true. Your ego provides all the obstacles, all of the things I'm talking about. Anytime fear enters the picture, yes, it's your ego. But again, your ego is physiologically wired to keep you alive. So you would watch out for the saber-toothed tigers, you know not to cross the street in front of a car, all sorts of things. And if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be here again. So my point is, why don't you shoot for being yourself? Learning who that person is. A lot of us can give ourselves labels. Well, yeah, I work hard, I'm a CEO, I am a mother, I'm a wife, I head the PTA. I do all sorts of other things too, right? I'm a top, bowler. I mean, seriously, we have lists and lists and lists of things that should make us feel good. And yet none of these things can actually make you feel good. It's a choice you have to make. And when you make that choice, that means you're probably going to end up feeling some things that you probably have shoved down and haven't wanted to look at. It also means that some changes may occur, and I think that scares a lot of women because it's felt difficult to get where you are. And so when you're looking at yourself and you're trying to figure out if you need to have zero ego or be perfect or whatever thing you hold yourself to, whatever that expectation is you hold yourself to, and realize that you can be successful and happy if you're willing to instead do an internal emotional dive into yourself to get past your stuff. Because the more you can get past your stuff, the better leader you're going to be, the more successful you're going to be, the happier you're going to be. And therefore, it's not going to matter if somebody presents a list to you. You're not going to care because you're going to be happy and you're going to be fulfilled by what you do. And the people around you will also feel a sense of bondedness to you. They will feel a sense of probably proactivity. They will probably step into their own greatness, which is what we want on a team. So anyways, that's my bit for today. Take care.